Modern torchbearers of electroculture. Cultivating energy from the unified field as a sustainable source of health, harmony, and happiness for you and for all life. Our passion for electroculture began when we were exploring potential solutions to the harmful effects of EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, from 5G Wi-Fi technology. In our research, we learned how these solutions could be utilized to benefit health on many levels. Not only can healthy electricity generated from Earth's natural free energy help to neutralize the harmful effects of EMF, it can also help to increase the flow of healthy bioactive energy for our bodies and environment, which can also be utilized to benefit agriculture by increasing plant health, yield, and vitality, improve health and harmony of the elements of our bodies and surrounding nature, as well as help to generate prana, mana, source, life force, orgone, Earth's natural free energy for the well-being of all life on the planet. Electroculture is the study of utilizing atmospheric energy from the Earth and unified field to help cultivate fertility, vitality, growth, and development in plants, animals, and humans. This electricity can be sourced through natural or man-made means. It is best to work with natural sources of magnetic and electric energy whenever possible. The root word of cultivate means to honor, to love. Basic materials such as copper, magnets, and crystals are some natural elements that can be used in electroculture to cultivate life, love, and source energy, revitalizing our bodies as well as the soil, plants, and wildlife in our gardens. Electroculture techniques offer a potential to increase plant yield and fertility by 100 to 300%, essentially eliminating the need for pesticides or fertilizers, which helps us honor the delicate balance of nature. The term electroculture is synonymous with magnetoculture. Both are generic terms used to describe an assortment of techniques described to amplify and focus magnetic and natural electric forces of nature. Magnetic and electrical forces always manifest conjointly in nature. Magnetoculture, however, refers more specifically to magnetic influences, while electroculture to electric influences on plant growth and soil fertility. Electroculture and magnetoculture are based on the synthesis of discoveries in the field of agriculture encompassing cosmic and telluric energies, electricity, and magnetism. Plants and people are sensitive to electricity and magnetism. Improved plant growth, quality, and increased yields are a few of the noticeable beneficial effects in plants. The technology can also be used to protect plants from pests and diseases. Electric and magnetic effects on people are very similar, as demonstrated by the dedicated work and research of Georges Lakhovsky with copper coil oscillators in the 1920s. Lakhovsky believed that each of our cells was a minute resonant circuit, and when these circuits were oscillating correctly, we or any living thing were considered healthy. What Lakhovsky discovered was truly amazing. He discovered that using copper coils protected our cells from various forms of disease through an ability to generate a healthy electromagnetic field for our cells to continue oscillating at their resonant frequency. Lakhovsky coils are little antennas made of copper, oriented in a certain way with north at around 32 degrees, in alignment with the tilt of the Earth's rotation. These antennas can be used for individual plants or trees to heal them from disease or to help them grow. Taking his cue from his geranium experiments, Lakhovsky also fashioned loops of copper wire that could be worn around the waist, neck, elbows, wrists, knees, or ankles of people or animals, and found that given enough time, much relief of painful symptoms were obtained. These simple coils, worn continuously around certain parts of the body, would invigorate the strength of the human cells and increase the immune response, which in turn took care of the offending pathogens. We can apply the concepts of Lakhovsky ourselves. The basics of his work is very simple and easy to replicate. Something very easy and practical that many people can do is wear copper wire bracelets, necklaces, body jewelry, or belts, all made with copper. We can also spiral copper around the base of our plants, as well as around wooden stick antennas in our gardens and potted plants. Copper spirals coiled around sticks from fallen branches of trees works really well. Copper number 10 is a recommended width, however, you can use other gauges as well, such as number 8, number 12, or number 14, for example. If you're interested, you can make your own Lakhovsky coils or obtain them ready-made from various artists. One of the main reasons why so many people find copper wrist bracelets effective and beneficial is because the bracelet is functioning as a Lakhovsky coil. It's also providing minute trace amounts of copper to the body, which helps too. To achieve the Lakhovsky effect, it's important that the coil or bracelet is open and made of copper. Closed rings simply don't work as well. The history of electroculture is rich in inventions, knowledge, mysteries, and adventures. Having gone from being utilized in various profound ways by our distant ancestors to 17th century commercial implications to complete censorship in many countries, electroculture is quite an interesting topic. Some countries have even made laws against promoting electroculture in the past. In others, they have done everything to make it forgotten, even removing the word completely from the dictionary. The founding fathers of electroculture are not alone in their valiant mission of sustainable cultivation of healthy food and environment. Their collective contributions to the field continue to inspire many on their journey to health and well-being, guiding us to align with the regenerative ways of being and living in harmony with Mother Nature. Over a century later, we feel truly lucky to be able to present this precious information to others, including farmers, gardeners, agronomists, researchers, students, and anyone concerned about food, health, and the environment. Modern torchbearers of electroculture. Philip Callahan, Ph.D., 1984, explained how paramagnetic rock powder is important for soil fertilization. He also explained how many old towers which were built by our ancestors act like antennas to receive natural ELF radio waves and increase their power. Same is true for many stone temples, pyramids, obelisks, dolmens, and stone circles. These compressed stones arranged in specific shapes emit ions which help to fertilize the surrounding fields. With simple experiments, he proved the working principles of old. These principles were hidden, yet their know-how is very useful for today's agriculture. His book, The Magnetic Life of Agriculture, Ancient Mysteries, Modern Visions, is a masterpiece on this topic. Discover the real secrets behind the ancient temples of Egypt, Ireland, and the Far East. Learn that the same forces that make these cathedrals conducive to worship are tuned into by plants and insects to promote plant growth and good health. Join Phil Callahan as he links the paramagnetic force to soil health, plant health, and life. Common folklore about healing stones takes on new meaning with Dr. Callahan's discovery of stone's special magnetism and its relation to life. To bring this knowledge from the abstract back to reality, you can actually replicate many of Dr. Callahan's experiments, build an aura detector, construct a star map, and study the effects of various low-level energies on plant growth. It was a copper gardening tool that brought the Austrian inventor Victor Schauberger to the attention of his contemporary biographer Jane Cobalt. In the introduction to A Life Learning from Nature, she remarks that for many years she grew vegetables and flowers following the rules of traditional English gardening before she learned in the 1990s about the benefits of using copper tools. She went on to test them in her own garden and found that her crop yield increased after replacing her iron shovels with copper ones. The vegetables grew bigger and better, while flowers were more resistant to plant louse and other pests. After exploring the subject further, she discovered that the use of copper in plows that imitate digging moles was already advocated half a century earlier by the bearded water wizard, Victor Schauberger. Slim Sperling rediscovered tensor technology in 1991. Slim knew of John Wheeler's extensive work with closed loops. Dr. Wheeler, who coined the term black hole in 1967, came up with the mathematical theory of the tensor field, which is found inside the ring. Slim published his book with the help of Cal Garrison, titled Slim Sperling's Universe, The Light Life Technology, Ancient Knowledge Rediscovered to Restore the Health of the Environment and Mankind, October 1, 2004. Hans Becker, an astrophysicist who extensively tested the Sperling ring, found the ring to oscillate at 144 Hz, a harmonic of the speed of light, just like 432 Hz. He said that, when you create a closed-loop coil, energy begins to flow, and the laws of physics go out the window. They may be the simplest, most efficient source of energy there is, gathering it and condensing it freely from space. Within a tensor ring is an infinite source of energy that is neither electric nor magnetic. The tensor rings are superconductors that neutralize magnetic fields, bring coherency to chaos, and easily stabilize and equalize biomagnetic fields. Tensor fields create an anti-gravity field. Grebennikov's work supports this hypothesis as well as Mueller's global scaling, where tensor rings emit a harmonic to a specific gravitational wave. According to Philip Callahan, an expert on paramagnetism, tensor rings exhibit a paramagnetic value many times greater than anything ever tested. This means that tensor rings cause some of the elements in water to spin to their high spin state, referred to as orma, orbitally rearranged monoatomic elements. This has a tremendous impact on water's molecular structure and on the energetic components of the water. When copper wire, with its microcrystalline structure, is created, it aligns the crystalline within the wire to create a one-way flow of piezoelectric current. When the wire is folded back on itself, twisted and cut to a specific length, it is then brought into a ring where the ends meet up. This creates a continuous flow, powering the tensor ring on the physical plane. It is the specific length which creates a working tensor ring. According to Brian Besko, founder of Twisted Sage, tensor fields are helpful to restructure magnetics, clear harmful electromagnetic field smog, bring water back to its original crystalline structure, observed by authors of Dancing with Water, The New Science of Water, generate anti-gravitic effects due to the positive right-hand spin put on the water molecules, neutralize the pH of water, create medicinal water-based elixirs, and reduce the swelling of tissue. If you'd like to learn how to make tensor rings, this information can be found at the Twisted Sage YouTube channel. We received a lot of inspiration from this YouTube video right here titled DIY Free Energy Tech with Cameron and Phil, Conversations with Campbell, Autodidactic Alchemist. Also, ElectroCulture and the Rise of Earth Energy Tech with Bernai Mind's Third Eye Science Guy, or Crypto Alchemist, and Autodidactic Alchemist. Here we have a couple of photos of Phil and Cameron's tensor ring harmonizers. If you feel called to connect with either Phil or Cameron, their links are available below. Another modern torchbearer of ElectroCulture we wish to mention here, who has expanded on Schoberger's concepts brilliantly, is author, physicist, and alchemist Dan Winter. Dan Winter is well known for being the first to announce golden ratio fractality as the electric cause of gravity in his Budapest 2006 paper, presented and published with the proceedings at the International Unified Field Conference, www.goldenmean.info/Budapest08/physicsoverview.html, founded on the important research of the golden ratio as a formula for consciousness and creation, which can be found at goldenmean.info/creation. Dan Winter invented multiple devices to improve the fractality, or self-organization, and bioactivity of people, plants, animals, and all life. Two of Dan's most notable inventions are Therify, a plasma light frequency healing device, Therify.net, and the Imploder, theimploder.com, a 5-vortex water filter which has been shown to generate bioactive plasma in water, restoring the vitality of people, plants, and all receiving biological systems. This filter is beneficial for water to be used for the purpose of drinking, showering, for healing or making medicine, as well as for growing fruits and vegetables. For example of this, you're welcome to read more at these two links here: fractalfield.com/bloomthedesert, fractalfield.com/implodermagneticresearch/implodergrowzine1.html. Today, Dan Winter has 4 books available on Amazon for learning more about how to apply these amazing concepts. Additionally, you can also follow his YouTube channel, Dan Winter Fractal Field, for a plethora of information on how to align our minds, bodies, and spirit to the self-healing, self-organizing, golden geometry of life and consciousness in the universe. Another great stepping stone for electroculture occurred in the year 2006 when Andrew Goldsworthy, a plant biotechnologist from Imperial College, put forward what seems like the most likely explanation for what causes plants' reaction to electricity. He demonstrated that what is seen in electrocultural experiments is a plant's natural reaction to a brewing thunderstorm. Plants need water, so plants in drier locations gain an evolutionary advantage if they can quickly maximize their use of sudden rain, such as produced in a thunderstorm, before it's absorbed by the earth. Thunderstorms carry an electrical charge of ions, and plants have adapted an ability to read those ions as a signal that heavy rain is imminent. What lab experiments have shown is that the optimum electrical charge that is applied to plants to increase the yield turned out to be similar to the charge in a thunderstorm. According to Yannick van Doorn, the charge of a thunderstorm is 7.83 Hz, the Schumann resonance, aka the heartbeat of the Earth, which resonates to 5 fractals of the Schumann resonance, such as 144 Hz and 432 Hz. We welcome you to watch this incredible video titled Music and Plant Growth with Yannick van Doorn. For more information on the unique benefits of 432 Hz, we welcome you to watch our previous video titled 432 Hz, a harmonic fractal frequency of creation. If you'd like to start at the beginning of Yannick's ElectroCulture course, we recommend ElectroCulture Course 1, Earth Magnetic Cylindrical Antenna with Yannick van Doorn. Yannick van Doorn, PhD, engineer in agriculture and biotechnology, grew up on a farm in Belgium. As an independent researcher, engineer in agriculture and biotechnology, he has more than 15 years of experience with the applications of electroculture and the influence of electromagnetism on plant growth and development, water vitality, and soil fertility. He proceeded to write his PhD thesis on the applications of sound waves in agriculture for pest control and plant growth and development. He is a specialist in the effects of sound and electromagnetic natural or artificial waves on water, plant growth and development, and just beginning his presentations in North America. He participated in 2009 in writing the book ElectroCulture, Free Energies for Agriculture. He also contributed to the production of the documentary Resonance, The Influences of Electromagnetic Waves on Humans in 2010. Following Yannick van Doorn on YouTube, you will receive a valuable collection of research data and information on the most effective electroculture techniques to date. We highly recommend subscribing to his channel, Yannick VD. Yannick is also working on a new book in English about the electroculture and innovative techniques for farming, as well as a documentary partnered with ElectroCulture.life. If you'd like to contribute to help this wonderful film reach the greater community so that all life on Earth can benefit from it, you're welcome to visit indiegogo.com/projects/electroculture-life-the-documentary. Here we have a list of inventions and technical solutions developed by the pioneer and agricultural engineer in electroculture, Yannick van Doorn. Some products and techniques are his own invention, Others are older ones that he has improved upon for added efficiency. Over time, Yannick has made several of his own inventions which have unfortunately been copied or usurped by jealous and opportunistic people. To protect his work, he now has patents for many of his inventions. We share this list below as a source of inspiration for our own experiments and to give you a glimpse of what's possible. And in just a moment, we share a simplified list of ElectroCulture techniques that Yannick recommends for us to try. In 2009, Yannick van Doorn experimented with a new ElectroCulture technique. The tests for the new technique were conducted on a 1-hectare field. Until then, Yannick had been receiving inspiration from a predecessor utilizing an old technique from Justin Christoflo, conducting several conclusive and discrete tests for a few years in the vegetable garden where he had succeeded in doubling the harvest of a production of onions. By the spring of 2012, Yannick was able to install dozens of hectares with ElectroCulture techniques, more than 25 hectares in Canada, several hectares in France, Belgium, and Switzerland. Individuals and scholars began inquiring him to initiate ElectroCulture installations in Africa and Asia. Meanwhile, in France, England, USA, and most other countries, the application of ElectroCulture by farmers is still met by a great deal of resistance. The main obstacles to action in other countries are generally prejudice, fear, criticism, generalized ignorance, the fear of failing and being noticed, all obstacles which can be easily overcome by farmers and botanists moving forward. Since Yannick's first installation in 2009, the success continued, following one after another. Several additional hectares were installed each year. The positive results in crop vitality and yield continue to increase to this day. Although France is where many ElectroCulture techniques have been invented, it is often abroad that these inventions are more recognized and applied. There are exceptions in France, however, such as the regions of Brittany and Alsace, perhaps through their unique cultural open-mindedness, and perhaps through a deeply rooted Druidic and megalithic history, progressive innovations, and their own will to aid the development of ElectroCulture techniques. Here we have two photos, Yannick van Doorn in his vegetable garden in 2019, left, and 2009, right. Giant sunflowers in full growth in summer garden equipped with ElectroCulture magnetic beeswax antenna designed that same year for the experiment. This without fertilizers or treatments other than careful plant care and ElectroCulture. The year 2019 gave a French record for the largest sunflower head by Richard H. with 57.5 centimeters in diameter. In 2021, Yannick was able to obtain a sunflower head culminating at 3 meters and 60 inches in height and 74 centimeters in diameter, well above certain official French records. Below, we have a list of some of Yannick's recommended ElectroCulture techniques to be discovered on his website, electroculturevandorn.com. Most of the techniques are completely complementary to each other as they relate to other types of electromagnetic or subtle energies. Naturally, there are certain techniques more suited to the garden, in the greenhouse, or in the fields. One can also assess cost-effectiveness according to the context and one's own resources and needs. It is best to study all the techniques to get a little better overview. This allows you to make informed choices according to each person's situation and their own intuitions. Yannick can also advise you by discussing with you on the subject for your land. The history of electroculture is very rich in inventions, knowledge, mysteries, and adventures. Electroculture has gone from being utilized for commercial implications to complete censorship in many countries. Some countries even made laws to promote electroculture in the past. In others, they have done everything to make it forgotten, even removing the word from the dictionary. Today, the situation is still sensitive. However, since 2008, the agricultural engineer Yannick Van Doorn has been doing everything in his power to develop these practices in the professional agricultural environment with some success. Now we can already count thousands of hectares practicing electroculture techniques around the world, in France, Belgium, Switzerland, Russia, United States, Canada, China, African countries, and many others. This beautiful photo above was taken by Samstone Hill of France, receiving inspiration from techniques by Yannick Van Doorn. We welcome you to read Samstone's blog, Upgrading and Installing Atmospheric Antenna for Cosmic Energy Collection and Hail Protection, where he details the journey of his electroculture experiments. Another modern torchbearer of electroculture, Matt Rose, founder of Cultivate Elevate, an avid researcher and practitioner of holistic health, herbal medicine, and electroculture in Canada, released his first video documenting electroculture experiments in 2021, which were proving extremely fruitful in his family's garden. Matt has since established a website, cultivateelevate.com, where he offers lots of relevant information and resources for people looking to initiate their journey in electroculture and natural health. He also has a YouTube channel, Cultivate Elevate, and is currently writing his first book on electroculture. Matt continues to inspire thousands of people, receiving wisdom, applying the knowledge of his predecessors in the field, expanding and improving however he can. Living descendant of Dr. Royal Rife, inventor of the original Rife machine, Matthew Rife inherited his Uncle Roy's proprietary journals, notes, formulas, and blueprints for the advanced energetic frequency healing technology. At a very young age, Matthew was gifted with exceptional mechanical ability and took an interest in Dr. Rife's manuscripts. He dedicated himself to learning more about mechanics, electrical and structural engineering, math, physics, and theory creation. After experiencing the loss of a loved one, Matthew decided it was time to share his uncle's technology with the world via realrifetechnology.com. Using Dr. Rife's journals and all of the knowledge acquired through his studies, Matt took on the heavy task of resurrecting his uncle's machine, the Real Rife machine. Together with his business partner, Matthew seeks to change the world, starting with transforming the health tech industry. He currently lives on the Gulf Coast and spends his free time fishing, being in nature, and focusing on humanitarian-related projects. Here we have the Real Rife machine, made by Matthew Rife, available for purchase at realrifetechnology.com. Here at Opalite, we have been inspired to create and share orgone pyramids, made from a powerful foundation of genuine crystals and gemstones, a variety of metals, non-toxic resin, as well as positive intention. Our passion began when we were exploring potential solutions to harmful effects of EMFs, electromagnetic fields from 5G Wi-Fi technology, on our health and the health of the natural environment. In our research, we learned that when we combine and compact a balanced proportion of nature's elements, we magnify and harmonize the potential of a powerful energy originating from Earth's electromagnetic field, described often as prana, mana, life force, free energy, or orgone. Orgone is a term coined by scientist and researcher Wilhelm Reich, who was the first person to photograph the rainbow light of the aura of a living plant, and thus invented a device known as the orgone accumulator around the year 1940, which could accumulate this same electromagnetic energy from the unified field, which connects and flows through all living beings. He found that the accumulation of this energy through proper means demonstrated potential to increase the available bioactive energy, which he then studied and observed to improve people's overall vitality, mood, and libido, increase plant yield and fertility, as well as help to promote rainfall in drought-stricken areas. His work was opposed by the mainstream scientists and elite of the time, and drastic efforts to damage his reputation continued, going so far as to perhaps play a rather significant role in his death in 1957, according to credible sources of his research, such as personal comrade of Wilhelm Reich, British author, speaker, researcher Peter Robbins. Thankfully, there are those such as Peter Robbins and a few others who preserved the value of his legendary work, and today, Reich's home in Maine is a memorial museum and education center open to the public, dedicated not only to preserving the work of the amazing researcher Wilhelm Reich, but also has established a trust to fund proper nourishment in the form of life and love for infants, established on his founding principles. Wilhelm Reich began every book with the same quote, "Love, work, and knowledge are the wellspring of our lives. They should also govern it." The concept of orgone appears to have been understood on some level much earlier in our distant past, however. At one time in our history, perhaps over 10,000 years ago, the Great Pyramids of Egypt utilized a unique sacred geometry in combination with conductive elements of limestone, mica, quartz, and gold to generate electricity in the form of negative ions from Earth's free energy, aka orgone. This sacred knowledge was lost, but has now been remembered, demonstrating potential benefits such as faster healing in minor wounds, improved energy and circulation, heightened creativity, enhanced plant growth, as well as neutralizing the harmful ions of EMF radiation from Wi-Fi technology. George Leoniak of New Geometry and Charlie Zeiss of Pyramid Science Foundation worked together in 2022 to 2023 to study the sacred geometry of various pyramids from around the world, arriving to the conclusion that many pyramids have been built using specific sacred geometry able to generate energy which resonates to the frequency of 432 Hz. For more information on the potential advanced applications of pyramid research, we highly recommend checking out their wonderful work on YouTube at Pyramid Science Foundation, at New Geometry, and pyramidsciencefoundation.org. According to their research, the 76.345 angle, a perfect 5 fractal, fits in the center of these pyramids, and is based off of Dan Winter's model of the imploding dodecahedron, which aligns to fractals of the golden ratio of phi. This alignment generates a golden ratio vortex of ions spiraling upwards as well as downwards. Essentially, the phi shape of the pyramid creates ionic implosion or generation of life force energy, aka orgone, resonating to 5 fractal frequencies, such as 432 Hz. If you're interested in learning how to create orgone pyramids for yourself and loved ones, we provide a diverse range of materials to help fuel your health, creativity, and spiritual empowerment at ohmofferings.com. Today, orgone pyramids, pendants, and other devices are fundamentally composed of resin, sodium silicate, mortar or cement, metal shavings such as gold, silver, copper, or brass, as well as sand, rocks, or quartz-based gemstones, making them a wonderful potential method for cultivating healthy bioactive electricity from Earth's free energy, originating from the unified field. Orgone can be used in conjunction with other ElectroCulture techniques, such as those documented and researched in depth by the people mentioned here in this video, to improve bioactivity for you and for all life. While we can't make any promises, we can promise that we have taken the time to research and read many articles and books, as well as physically make many batches of pyramids in order to teach ourselves the real science and alchemy of orgone energy, with the intention of healing ourselves and others, helping to share the beauty, bounty, and wisdom of nature with the world. Are you ready to learn ElectroCulture for yourself? It takes genuine courage to embrace change for the greater good. Thank you for being here. Thank you for learning about ElectroCulture. Your actions today are helping to plant the seeds for the cultivation of humanity's growth, leading us to embrace and contribute to change in a positive way for all life on Earth to benefit. If you'd like to learn these techniques for yourself, we highly recommend checking out the diverse collection of references in this video. Additionally, you can view the sources at the end of the video, connecting with those which resonate the most with you in your unique journey. With respect for the individual perspective, please take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you're wondering, Why are our farms and fields not yet full of these amazing apparatuses, which lead to increased crop yield, better nutritional content, improved resistance to disease and pests, all accomplished using sustainable, eco-friendly bioactive materials without the need for fertilizers? We invite you to read more information on electroculture and the censorship which has resisted the growth, development, expansion, and research in the field, and a plethora of information, practical methods for electroculture on Yannick Van Doorn's website, ElectroCultureVanDoorn.com. ElectroCultureVanDoorn.com is a wonderful resource for techniques, examples, results, and observations that allow us to consider the unique options of agricultural techniques that are most resourceful for us. Join the news on electroculture on the dedicated page on Facebook where Yannick regularly shares news and testimonials. And if you enjoy reading and are interested in learning more on electroculture from the original literature that's been preserved on this fascinating subject, we recommend checking out this collection of books in the re-edition by Talma Studios. With electroculture techniques, you can cultivate greater abundance for you, your family, and community, helping to improve your overall health and well-being, bringing you closer to nature, while also helping you establish independence from the system, which guides us towards a more sustainable future for all. How can we contribute to the mission to help bring electroculture back to life? You can choose to work with electroculture techniques in your own garden, sharing your experience and helping to teach others about the benefits of regenerative, eco-friendly gardening techniques. Additionally, if you are a student, you can choose electroculture as your capstone subject, thesis, or research topic, thus participating in removing ignorance to this important topic at the foundational level. It's not the easiest path, for it is a path much less traveled, one that is potentially much more motivating, however, to know you are contributing catalyst to cultivating health, harmony, and happiness for all life on Earth. If you feel called to contribute further to the mission of educating others on the wonderful applications of electroculture, Yannick Van Doorn has partnered with ElectroCulture.life to provide an opportunity for us to co-create a documentary about electroculture. If you'd like to contribute to help this wonderful film reach the greater community so that all life on Earth can benefit from this amazing information, you're welcome to visit indiegogo.com/projects/electroculture-life-the-documentary. Please join us in experimenting and feel free to share your results, which can help to ignite this beautiful spark for someone else. I genuinely appreciate you taking the time to adventure through this video, stopping by to smell the roses, and to hopefully receive some information which may help you to cultivate energy from the unified field as a sustainable source of health, harmony, and happiness for you and for all life.